This mutation is called Encroaching Madness and is being played on missed opportunities. We have 3 mutators active. We have Eminent Domain, we have Purifier Beam, and we have Void Rifts. So here, by far, the most difficult mutator to deal with is the Void Rifts mutator because it applies a lot of early game pressure to the commanders. If you have watched any games with Void Rifts and you have forwarded to something like the 15-minute mark, you'll see the Void Rifts are mostly an annoyance, assuming the game has not ended because the player is lost, obviously. But if the player has managed to stabilize in the early game, usually the Void Rifts pose more of an annoyance than an actual threat. But Void Rifts start to spawn at around the 2 minutes and 30-second mark, which is very, very early for a lot of commanders because they don't even have their hero unit out. Hero units spawn at around 4 minutes, so that causes a few problems for the commanders. They have to invest a lot of their early game resources into defenses rather than expanding and improving their economy, which in turn pushes them back, which is why Void Rifts is a very difficult mutator to handle. Now we can see here that we have Mengsk and we have Zagara that will be going for this mutation run. And Mengsk, to be honest, is not a very good commander for this set of mutators, purely because of the Eminent Domain and the Purifier Beam. The reason why these commanders have been selected is because I basically asked these two players, who are very, very good co-op players, to pick a bunch of commanders that are a little bit interesting to watch. Some commanders are not really favored on this mutation, and I think Mengsk, because he's being a new commander as well, kind of shows that Mengsk is not really all that strong all the time. And you can see here one of the reasons why is because even though he has access to the supply bunkers, he cannot actually use them to deal with these Void Rifts. The second he drops down the supply bunker, the Purifier Beam will aggro, and if he loses the supply bunker, all the units inside will also be lost to Eminent Domain. It actually converts these units over to Amon's side. So we can already see now that their players are starting to have a few struggles against the Void Rift spawns that have started to been created by these Void Rifts over here. And for now, this bunker will be okay. There are a few units in here. But you can see the Mengsk is really trying to take up and get his mandate ray. And you can see here already that this extractor has been captured by Amon, and now we have Zerg drop that has been dropped here by Mengsk just to provide him with a little bit of pushing power. But again, that Void Rift is still around and it is going to be causing a few problems. These Zealots are not going to really be able to do anything about it, but now we have another set of Void Rifts that have spawned, and now the pain is going to be brought towards these commanders. We can see here that Zagara has already taken a macro hatchery. She really needs to get this expansion cleared. Zagara is a very, very macro dependent commander. She needs to have her economy set up so that she can remax her army very, very quickly. And now we have the Zagara hero unit out, and she's been able to clean up that Void Rift. A few trickle left of that Zergling that was spawned by Mengsk, and now I think that Void Rift has been cleared. So now we only have one more Void Rift on this side that needs to be addressed over here. It's right behind the stairs. An extractor thing should not really be too bad. And now we have the bot already that has spawned, and Zagara has to move out of the way of that Purifier Beam, because that Purifier Beam actually kind of sucks. It does deal a lot of damage. These Zealots, interestingly enough, have not actually aggroed this bot, which is odd. The bot is not it is not an air unit. It is a ground unit, but I don't know why those Zealots were not actually aggroing that. Now we have the first Marauder out as well from Mengsk. And I want to take this time to actually talk about the way the Royal Guard units should be leveled. It is very tempting to see these Royal Guard units and say, oh look, they're awesome. I should build as many of them as possible and utilize them. The strength of the Royal Guard units does not come from the individual units themselves. They are stronger than their regular counterparts, but the strength from these Royal Guard units come from their upgrades, from their rank up upgrades. So what you want to do, in kind of the same way as Abathur does, is to only have a very, very few Royal Guard units available on the map, so that when you kill units around the map, they all get stacked with the experience, rather than the experience being split among a large number of units. That causes them to rank up quickly, obviously, and it gets you higher value, higher quality units much quicker than if you were to just have a large number of these Royal Guard units out there. So try and get quality over quantity of the Royal Guards. So we can see here now this guy is already rank 2, so now we have another Marauder being added into the mix here. So you don't really want to burn the experience by having a rank 3 and then being killing stuff there. So building another Royal Guard unit when you see your previous one is at rank 2 is is probably the way to go here. You can see that Mengsk is trying to push in here and just clean out that Void Rift, because that Void Rift is going to be causing a few problems here. Zagara is being harassed by the Purifier Beam, but I think economy-wise, I think all is okay. Both these commanders now have taken up both their bases over here, and I think we have Zagara just building up the final extractor on this side. And Overlord, unfortunately, is going to be aggroed by that Purifier Beam and does end up moving out of the way here. That Trooper decides to walk through the Purifier Beam, doesn't seem to be bothered by it, and now Mengsk wants to go and deal with this next Void Rift again, which is in a very convenient spot because it does allow Mengsk to be able to target that from the high ground rather than wrapping around here and going through this enemy camp here. And we can see Zagara is having a few problems, but she is playing hyper aggressively now, trying to clear out ahead. Remember that these two bots are still... This is not even the next wave, but Zagara is clearing out ahead here. Now we have Frenzy down as well from Zagara just to try and deal a little bit of damage to these units over here. And now we have a few supply bunkers as well dropped here to just provide Mengsk with a little bit of defensive ability. And I think there's a little bit of harassment here again from one more Roach. We have another supply bunker being dropped here. And this is one of the advantages. Take a look at Mengsk's mandate gather rate over here. He's gathering 120 mandate every 60 seconds, which is an insane amount, but that allows him to spam his bunkers on these Void Rifts and gives him a lot more reach than he would normally have, and that is one of the key parts of Mengsk's gameplay. Now we have Zagara going to go and deal with these bunch of stalkers over here, which is again causing a few problems. Purifier Beam is starting to harass this unit over here, and now we have the Pride of August right over here. And you can see here, just take a look at the units that Mengsk has. He has 2 Marauders and one of these battlecruisers. So all the units that get killed on the map, all their experience will be going towards this battlecruiser, towards leveling up this battlecruiser, which is the way it should be done. And unfortunately, I think there is a problem over here for Mengsk because his bunker has gotten captured by Amon. Now, unfortunately, Mengsk's eye color is basically the same as Amon's color, the red color there, and it does make it a little bit difficult to see what's going on. But unfortunately here, this thing is getting harassed by Amon's Eminent domained bunker on this side. Zagara is starting to push into here, just dealing a little bit of damage on here. And now Zagara wants to try and clear out the small enemy camp here. There is a siege tank as well at the backside, which is causing a few problems over here. And now we have a large number of bunkers that have been dropped to just deal with that one bunker on this side. I think that side has been pretty much well handled. And now there's a Void Rift that is interesting. It spawned literally on the top left side of the map. I don't think it could go any more further than that. And that is going to be a very difficult Void Rift to get rid of because there is a Hybrid Dominator and there's a bunch of other junk there as well, which is going to make it very, very difficult for Mengsk to clear. This one is also okay. This is clearable. I think one bunker drop on this side should be able to handle that, but these commanders have to deal with these Void Rifts as quickly as possible because that would be very, very bad if they chose to not do that. So now we have another Marauder added to the mix as well, just to provide a little bit of tanking for the troopers. You can see here the Pride of August Grad is leveling up reasonably okay. It does require 22,000 experience to level, so that requires a little bit of attention when it comes to leveling. So this is why you don't really want to build 3 or 4 battlecruisers because the experience gets split up among all of them. And their main power level comes up when they get their triple Yamato cannon, which is very, very useful for clearing out attack waves. Zagara, we can see, has cleaned out this side. Over here, that Void Rift is still around, and I think it's going to be a while before that Void Rift gets addressed because it is just going to be very difficult to clean out this side without taking significant losses because there is a Hybrid Dominator on there. And now we have this next set of bots that are getting harassed by Amon's army. And I think for the most part, it gets handled by Mengsk reasonably okay. 2 more Void Rifts have spawned. Both Void Rifts, I think, will be addressed by Zagara without too many problems. But now we have an Immortal on this side as well, and this bunker has also again been captured by Amon, and this expansion is in extreme and deep peril. And now we can see that this expansion as well has been captured or taken out by Amon. And now we have storms coming down on some of Zagara's units on this side, completely straying that army. But now we have a Frenzy out as well from Zagara, and Zagara will be able to push through that side. Unfortunately, fighting inside the Purifier Beam, not very ideal there for Zagara, but that should be pretty much okay. Where is Mengsk's army? I'm not really sure. Mengsk is actually moving here to deal with his Void Rift because this Void Rift is actually harassing his expansion, and he can't be safe until he deals with that Void Rift over there. So now, for the most part, I think there are a bunch of... What? Was that a bunch of probes I just saw over there? There are totally a bunch of probes over there, and they are mining from Mengsk's base. Look at that BM from Amon right there. Just a bunch of probes just mining off, long distance mining off off Mengsk's base there. And I think, and that seems to be okay. That bot is okay. That bot is almost dead, but you know, the only hit point that matters is the one between 1 and 0, so that as long as that bot has some hit points left, that should not be too much of a problem. Yeah, this Pride of August Grad as well on this side. Again, that Void Rift is still up, and now it is going to start spawning much more scarier units, and it is up to these commanders to go and deal with it with... There's another Zealot over here as well. That Zealot will get cleaned up as well, should not be too difficult. I think all the Void Rifts on the mission have been cleaned up except for that last Void Rift over there, and I don't think that one's gonna go away anytime soon. Pride of August right now is at level 3 or rank 3, and that is where it gets its power level because it has its triple Yamato ability, which is gonna allow it to deal with this next attack wave that is moving towards the player's bases. Next set of Void Rifts have spawned. I think 2 of them have spawned right next to the Purifier beams, which is again somewhat unfortunate. Zagara has cleaned up this first one. There is a battlecruiser on this side as well. They'll clean up this Void Rift, and now we have an attack wave on here, and there's a storm that goes down onto these Zerglings. Banelings running through the Purifier beam, and another storm comes down onto these Zerglings and onto these Banelings again, completely shredding Zagara's army. Zagara has dropped to a total of 39 supply, and that battlecruiser is going to be having a few problems. But now there's a roach drop as well. That battlecruiser getting very scarily low at 110 HP, but I think it might make it out alive. Again, not getting attacked by that hybrid destroyer over there, and this guy only has a splash damage ability. It is now down to 89 HP, and now there needs to be a repair onto this battlecruiser. Yeah, there's a ping there on the Pride of August guy telling him, you know, go watch your guy. You do not really want to lose that battlecruiser. Losing that battlecruiser just really sucks. See, there are a bunch of Banelings over here. This expansion now has been recaptured by Mengsk Zagara as well. Same has captured the expansion again, and I think economically speaking, the commanders are now a little bit better off, and Zagara is going to slowly starting to ramp up as well. Upgrade-wise, all seems to be okay. These are at level 2 attack upgrades for Zagara and level 1 attack upgrades for Mengsk, so reasonably okay. Mengsk is now just starting to climb up as well on this, and now Zagara is going to try and push into this base here, just dealing a little bit of preliminary damage, just trying to harass a little bit, clear out the side, because again, you know, as long as you try and clear some of the bases in advance, it just makes your mission, it makes your life a little bit easier. We now also have a Zerg drop here, and they end up cleaning out that Void Rift, but I think this side has not been cleaned up, so it's up to these commanders to start, they have to be a little bit, they have to hurry up a little bit, because these harvesting bots will get there very quickly. And now we have a ping there from Zagara saying, uh-oh, the bots are on their way and they have nothing to deal with it. Now there's a bunch of Zealots over here. The Zealots do get taken out, at least in part, by some of the Banelings. These Zerglings, unfortunately, are not going to be very effective in dealing with them. And let's have a look at the masteries, just so we can see what has been selected. I want to know if the Zerglings have evasion. Now, the Zerglings have not gone for the evasion. There's Baneling damage there, which is my preferred choice here. I do like having I like having the Baneling damage a little bit more than the Zergling evasion. I find that the damage output from Zagara just goes up a lot because of that. You see a bunch of Zerglings now. They're starting to push into the side. Unfortunately, the Zerglings are not going to really be able to deal with the Void Rays here, but Zagara has joined into the fight here with her Hunter Killers, and now she's completely deleted that side. I think for the most part, it has been completely cleaned out now. And I think the commanders are starting to get a foothold in the mission. There's another spawn on this side. Again, we have Mengsk already in position, ready to deal with the side. And now the third Purifier beam has spawned on this mission. Storms comes down, ends up killing off the troopers. Mengsk doesn't really care because these troopers are expendable despite them saying otherwise. And we have a reasonably strong army of Royal Guard. And see the rank 3s there on the Royal Guard there. That is what you're aiming for. You do not want to have 50 rank 1 units. You want to have 5 rank 3 units because that is where their value comes from. Their abilities are really powerful once they start to level up, and these Marauders are just amazing units over here. You can see we have a rank 1 and rank 2 Marauder. That should keep Mengsk busy for a while in terms of leveling. But the other thing you also have to consider is what your ally is playing. Zagara is the kind of commander that deals a lot of splash damage and clears out units very quickly. The second she uses Frenzy and pushes into an enemy base, she's gonna get something like 100 kills easily. And this is why you need to make sure that you don't end up burning your experience, because it is very possible that your units, even though they are sitting at rank 1 or no rank, they will instantly level up the second Zagara uses a Frenzy ability. So we do have a Contaminated Strike, I think, on here, but unfortunately that Contaminated Strike has whiffed from the artillery that Mengsk has. Mengsk has to fire from very, very long range, so it does make it very difficult for him to extend his reach on this map because of the Purifier Beam with the Eminent Domain combination. Mengsk's strength comes from his Earth Splitters, and because he doesn't have access to the Earth Splitters, he does have to rely on his units. So many storms, my god, yes. There are so many storms because that's what Amon likes to do. He just likes to storm your face. Except Void Rift, there's another Void Rift on this side that needs to be cleaned up as well, but Zagara's already in position and she'll end up clearing out that side. And now, I have a little bit of harass here. I'm not really sure where I think that must have come from the Void Rift that was that spawned. But yeah, I was talking about the Earth Splitters for Mengsk. That's where his strength comes from. He comes from his ability to spawn camp attack waves and drop artillery in the paths of attack waves. And because he doesn't have access to that, that is where he will struggle on this set of mutators. And that is why I asked these players to pick such a commander set here, because Mengsk has to rely on his units more than he can on his actual strength here. And now you can see that Zagara is actually that's not Zagara, that is Mengsk using his Zerg Golem to try and get some value out of his units here. And you can see here how quickly these units are leveling. That's a rank 2 already. There was, I think, one rank 0 and one rank 1 and one rank 2, and now their ranks have already pretty much completely maxed out. This is why I was saying it's very important to make sure that you have enough units available or enough of the Royal Guard to make sure that when you push into enemy bases, you are able to get value out of that experience, because I don't know whether there is another Pride of Augustgrad there. Usually what I like to do is put one Pride of Augustgrad as like an extra buffer to soak up the experience that is available here. So you can see here all these units have been maxed out, so I think some experience may have been burned as a result. And I think having just an extra Pride of Augustgrad might have been a very, very useful soak for some of these, for some of the experience that was dropped on the as a result of clearing out the enemy base. But these players have completely pushed through and cleared out the site. There's a Mama ship over here, but now there is a nuke that gets dropped on here, and that ends up clearing out that site. All that's left is a Hybrid Dominator, which doesn't stand a chance against Mengsk's army. That army is just extremely powerful. Next set of Void Rifts have spawned here, but I think Mengsk is moving out of the way. Don't know if Mengsk has realized that there's one. Okay, he's realized now that there's a bunch of Void Rifts that have spawned, and now the next wave of harvesting bots have spawned as well, and they will be getting ready to deal with this. There's a little bit of indecision here on Mengsk, but he does end up cleaning out that Void Ray as well. Now we have the next set of spawns. There is an attack wave that's making its way over here. Zagara has to clear out that Void Rift because he does not really want to get harassed by here, and now there is a roach drop onto this army, and you can see, I think this game is pretty much in control now. Everything seems to be okay. There's another attack wave moving up on this side, but this was indeed a very hectic game, and I'm not sure if the players are going to comment about what kind of a slugfest this game is. Oh, Mengsk wants to all clear this mission. He wants to flex on Amon. He wants to get revenge. He wants to exact his revenge on Amon for long distance mining his base there. I think that's the reason why. Should have taken the Zergling Invasion. It is an interesting idea. I don't really know what would have been the better mastery over here. Spell damage cannot be evaded, so I don't know if it would have made that much of an impact. Can spell damage be evaded? I'm not actually sure. I can't remember. I don't use the Zergling Invasion mastery, so I think having the Baneling damage might have been a little bit better, but the thing that makes it very difficult for Zagara is, yeah, they got the gateway composition, which means they get stormed very frequently, but you also have the Purifier beams, which makes it very difficult for Zagara to just A-move her army into the path here, and unfortunately there's a Baneling barrage right onto that side there, and then getting blocked here. Otherwise she would have been able to clean out that side without too many problems. Lots of High Templars over there getting a lot of value. The Baneling barrage ends up whiffing on that side as well. You can see that Zagara is reasonably tilted right now. Lots of storms coming down onto these troopers, but you can see here these Marauders are just completely unaffected by these storms. They just don't really care. Medevacs are healing them from the back as well. And now we have 2 Prides of Augustgrads that are there at level rank 3 upgrade. And now there's a tactical jump on here to just go and deal with these Void Rifts over here. And I think now there's another attack wave that has spawned here, and that is a harassment. The attack wave is just spawned right now, and they have to keep these bots safe. I think for the most part it should be okay. I think. So now that is the attack wave that's coming with lots of Colossi on this side as well. And you can see these Mirages, just see how beastly these things are. They're just not really taking any damage. One of the battlecruisers does end up getting picked off by some of the Stalkers. The army that is there, again, very, very unimpactful for Mengsk because his army is just so powerful. And now we have another Contaminated Strike that gets dropped on here. A little bit too late. The whole attack wave is dead. And I think that is the rest of this mission done. That was indeed a slugfest. But yes, all of Setman's bots have been saved, and that is GG.